Hello everyone, this is ICO Talk. My name is Yelena, and today my guest is Andrew MacDonald, a founder of JoyToken. Hello Andrew, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. How are you?
Okay, so please first of all tell us about the project. What is it all about and what is the main idea behind it?
Well, the project's actually really quite simple. Basically, what we're trying to do is shake up the e-gaming industry by reaching out to independent developers to create new, innovative and exciting content for casino online. We are using the blockchain technology to add a layer of transparency to the consumer, and also, as part of this process, developing our own cryptocurrency for use on both sides.
Okay, and what is Play Cosmo Casino? It's also a part of your project. Will you please tell us about it?
Play Cosmo isn't so much a core part of this project. It's a sister company of ours. It has just undergone a massive redevelopment of its backend, providing more appropriate software for users for optimizing customer engagement. However, given the fact that we do have Play Cosmo, it has a license in Malta, UK and Curacao, but this also gives us the ability to use a test bed for all games produced through the JoyToken project. So we actually are in a very good position. It also shows, unlike a lot of other gambling ICOs, we have a legitimacy that has to be upheld because we have to make sure that we adhere to legal, regulatory and compliance frameworks, else our legitimate, by which I mean licensed businesses, are going to suffer.
Okay, whom do you consider, by the way, to be your main competitors on this market?
I wouldn't care to actually make any comment on that at the moment because there are a lot of people out there who are actually running gambling-based ICOs. Again, some of them have and have not got licenses or experienced staff. I do wish them the best, but there are so many out there. I actually don't see the blockchain companies as being competitors, but I do, however, see us carving a niche into the likes of the existing e-gaming marketplace. So we're not looking at going into the big end, but we're looking at trying to claw away at the businesses already established by the likes of NetEnt, Playtech, Nets.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It could go on, and by which I'm not trying to single them out, of course, but they are certainly the big players in the market, and we do want a little bit of it.
Okay. And now just a little bit about the history of the project. When was it launched? Who's got the idea with? Why have you decided to develop this particular idea? And what do you have actually today? So what is the current stage of development of the project?
Well, these are good questions, and I'm quite glad I could answer. We actually started it halfway through last year, and we've come quite far in such a short period of time. We were actually working on Play Cosmo and what we were going to do with this casino. And while we were putting it together, we started asking ourselves fundamental questions about the gaming industry. Pardon me, excuse me. Why there were no innovations, or why things were the way they were. What do customers want? What do they expect? Why do they follow key games? And we started saying, well, is it the fact that these games are well polished and they know what to look for and they chase them around? Or is it that there's nothing new out there that will allow them to come on board and find what they particularly like? We thought, well, how do we get this? And we thought, well, software developers don't often get the chance to express their own innovations. And I don't know if you've ever met any software developers, but they get very passionate about what they do, especially if they're allowed to their own devices. So our thoughts are, by doing that, we're going to find something that's going to lead to a level of excitement, which is going to be seen by the player. We started thinking, well, how do we do this? Is there anything else that we need to look at? And found that in certain instances, transparency is an issue. Now, most customers are quite happy with the status quo. In fact, we don't dispute that the existing systems are robust, but we could actually be a little bit better. And that's where we thought the blockchain could come in. By recording all transactions on a smart contract, it means that every transaction is fully auditable by the user at any period of time without having to come to us. And that gives a sense of fair play. So where we are now is we have actually managed to build the software for the blockchain that would be dropped into the developers' games. So this whole API now exists and can be found in demo version at joytoken.io. What we are still working on is the user interface for the player. The data comes through and we can actually interact with it and we can engage with it, but it doesn't look very pretty. That's something that we are going to be investing some of the money from the ICO on, as well as marketing and further infrastructure. The ideal situation for this is it will help us get to market sooner rather than later and help us gain momentum. We already have something there that works, and even if the ICO doesn't go as planned, we've got something that we will be running with one way or another.
Great, great. Okay, now just a few words about the team of the project.
Yeah, the team, we've got a great team on board. The principal three senior management team is myself, Mike Lees, and Steve Giordano-Imbro. I'm the CEO. I have 20 years of gaming experience with large blue chip firms in gaming, such as the Rank Group, which is rather big in the UK and certain parts of Spain. I've been at Party Gaming, where I was principally working as an online bingo manager, operating the bingo and casino products. But worked with Cashgate, who were the market leaders in bingo, principal brands of Foxy Bingo, Cheeky, Think, Wink, the absolute innovators. And more latterly, BWin and Bet365. We've got our CMO, Mike Lees. He's got 30 years of experience in marketing, and most of that in gaming. And he's been working largely at PokerStars and Mr. Green. If you ever speak to him, he is really passionate about Mr. Green because we do think it's a rather good brand. And our CTO, Steve Giordano-Imbro, has 15 years of e-gaming experience, again with PokerStars and PKR. We always look at PKR as being one of these companies which is unfortunate that it's folded, no pun intended, but because we thought that they had a truly innovative product, but the e-poker marketplace isn't what it was, and innovation there, well, it is somewhat lacking, but that's why we're thinking that'll maybe a project down the line, not right now.
Okay, I see. Okay, let's now speak a little bit more in details about the ICO. First of all, tell us the soft cap and the hard cap.
Well, the soft cap is $5 million US, and the hard cap is 46.3. If you are taking part in the pre-sale, which is around now, there's a minimum purchase of 30,000 USD, and we're doing a 50% discount to early adopters. So they're getting their JoyTokens at 10 cents per unit instead of 20. The actual sale starts on the 27th, and if you come around there, the minimum purchase is $100, but we are giving you a 30% discount for a couple of days, and we're phasing that up throughout the 6 weeks that we're running that, and then we'll get to full price. So if you want to take part, come and join at any point at this stage, and if you make even bigger investments, I'm sure we can do you a good deal.
Sure, yeah. But still, well, 46 million, rather huge sum comparatively to other ICO projects. Will you please tell us in more details, about the roadmap? What for do you need this particular sum? Yeah.
It's really not that much, if you think about it. In terms of this market, we have got the challenge of the saturation. And we've got all these big players who have got a lot of funds at their disposal to try and put their products in place and make sure that they're getting used and maintain visibility. We're going to have to challenge that, which means we're going to have to throw a lot of money into marketing. It is going to be astronomical in terms of putting our games through various different media to make sure that they are in the public eye, but we're also going to have to incentivize platform providers who are actually working with B2B agreements right now. So once we've got our games there, we're going to have to incentivize them to be pushed forward to the larger casinos and then to try and get them their presence made there. So we're going to have a lot of work there. Plus, we're going to have to look into salespeople and sales teams to bring on board more individual developers and go out there and find these independent developers. Let me just add a caveat to that. I'm actually at the moment working on a deal with a key provider. He's got a lot of independent contacts, and we're working together on a deal where we can produce a lot of innovative content, hopefully to be live within the next 6 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in terms of that's where we're going to be going. And of course, other parts of it is where we're going to have to invest in our own developers to do the audits of the code coming in, which if we have achieved the level of traffic we're hoping to, we're going to have to take on a fantastic amount of developers very quickly. And that in itself isn't a cheap process. And we're going to be offering 24-hour support. When it comes to compliance and legal, well, that's also very expensive. And we are going to be taking the pain out of that for them as well.
Okay. And what will be the key benefits for your token holders?
If we look at the player, it gives them the ability to use a non-fiat currency where permitted, and it allows them to transact where their banks aren't aware of what is going on. So we do not advocate anonymity per se. We don't think that in gambling it's a wise thing. We think people need to be very much identified so that we can monitor to make sure that they are being responsible. The last thing we want to do with an entertainment product is create problems for our consumers, and a happy consumer keeps coming back. So, but on the other hand, if you are using your current account to play online, typically banks can often use this against you if you apply for loans or mortgages. Using a cryptocurrency gives you a little bit of anonymity on that, and that's fair play, because everybody likes to have a little bit here and there, and some people like to go to the cinema quite a lot. But you don't see your cinema goings being looked at when you go to apply for a mortgage. You do if you decide to put a £10 bet on a slot. But for the developers, it comes in with a very nice way that we're giving them a currency that as revenues grow through the system and as more players play with those games, the value of the currency will inherently rise. And also, given the economy that we have put in place, as we have to buy back our own currency to pay the developers the revenue, we artificially stabilize the value. And it's not, we're saying that this is an artificial thing we're going to which will drop. It's an artificial stabilization which will be maintained, and it means that everything is run in a cyclical nature. And that's where we're going to say, we're going to give you something that's a stable currency. And this is the added advantage of it should be more stable than regular fiat currencies. It's good to be outside of political issues.
Yeah.
Have a look at what happened here in Britain a few months ago when we decided to go through Brexit. The value of the pound plummeted. Sure. Our cryptocurrency should weather that rather nicely because it's in a digital format and it doesn't have to worry about different governments. So we're quite lucky on there. As for investors, what I can say is this project is going to work one way or another. We've got a tried and tested software there that we're going to build on, and as soon as we build momentum, the demand for the currency will increase. So if they're in it for the long haul, we're going to make them money. Again, just to be certain, this is a utility token, not a security. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, our goals are for either end. However, in producing this, investment is a byproduct which should be relatively good for them in the short term, but definitely in a longer view.
I see. Okay, and what do you personally think about the future of the ICO market, about its perspectives?
Oh, it's a tricky one. I'm actually pro-regulation, to be fair, and I think that's a good thing. The sooner we regulate, the sooner cryptocurrency is going to be recognised in multiple territories. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot safer and secure for the individual who is investing. And there are a lot of ICOs out there who are not sure of what they're doing and unfortunately will be doomed to failure. And that's not good for anybody, the investment or the user. So essentially, what I think, and it's been reflected by a lot of my contemporaries who I've been discussing this with, is we're in this period of excitement where everything isn't regulated, everybody's rushing to do something, that we're at risk of a replication of the late 90s .com bubble and burst. And the strong will survive. That's the beauty of it. The blockchain technology isn't something new. It's been around for 9 years, and it has got its uses. It's just making sure that we use it properly. And I see that once we've got the regulation in place, once there's a clearer view, okay, profitability for ICOs, maybe not so much, but we're going to have a much stronger future. And there's a lot to be said for this technology and its applications. So I'm hopeful on the
Okay, I see. Okay, and just in conclusion, to sum it up, in 1 or 2 sentences, why shall I invest in JoyToken?
Well, JoyToken has a very passionate team behind it that actually knows the e-gaming industry and is very switched on to all the requirements that are there for law and compliance. We have the licensed product, which is going to reinforce what we're doing and only proves how we are committed to making this work. And we are in this for the long haul. We're going to make this work. And we believe that we're going to carve ourselves out a rather nice slice of a multi-billion-dollar market.
Okay, Andrew, then thank you so much for this interview and for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. It's been nice to be here.
Okay, and I remind you that today my guest was Andrew MacDonald, a founder of JoyToken. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more interesting interviews. Bye-bye.